Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The round gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Welcome in, everybody. It is time once again after the bye week for some more Overtake iRacing League action. Coming to you live from the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway. One of the most fabled racing courses around the world will be the site here tonight for this Xfinity Series battle. Race 6 of the regular season. Welcome in. My name is Alex Gagnon, and I will be your lead broadcaster tonight, and helping me out with all the shots you see on screen here, it'll be producer Christian Hill. We've had a very, very fun opening 5 weeks here in the Overtake iRacing League Xfinity Series, including a last lap pass for the win at Iowa 2 weeks ago. Let's take a look here at the standings to see how they run at the moment. Jim Ott currently scored in first place in the standings, but still looking for that first victory of the year after 3 second-place finishes this season. Alex Penn with a win, Michael Kostick, Andy Kurtz all with victories as well. Kostick, the last winner 2 weeks ago at Iowa, and Tony Iverson there in 6th with a victory as well. But the points still very much up to grab in that top 14-15 area. You see not anyone's really too far out, and with this being one of those playoff formats, all of these races mean something. If you get the win, perfect, you're locked in. But even not, if not, you got to get all the points you can get here coming down the home stretch. And speaking of the home stretch, let's take a look here at the schedule. Indianapolis on dock here tonight. You can see there that 220 race, 60 laps here tonight with a stage break at lap 20. We'll kick off a string of ovals before Bristol, Nashville, and Charlotte, and then Richmond before you get to Watkins Glen and Daytona to round out the regular season. So one of the last really big tracks here in the regular season, and an opportunity for these guys to really floor this thing going around at full speed. With this being the Overtake iRacing League's Xfinity Series, we know it's been a ton of fun so far, and tonight they go to one of the most fun tracks you can drive here in iRacing, and it is Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This place over 115 years old, or actually I think we'll be celebrating its 115th birthday this year. 2.5 miles. Each of these corners handle slightly different than the others, so each corner presents an interesting challenge for these drivers. The banking about 9 degrees in the corners, but that fluctuates just a little bit depending on which corner you're in. And the way it's shaped, you can see they have those short chutes there between turns 1 and 2 and between 3 and 4. Each corner very much its own entity out here, and a lot of opportunities for things to go right or wrong when trying to make a pass here on those short chutes. You get a good run off the corner, you have a little bit of an opportunity on those straightaways to take advantage, and then you get to dive back into the corners once again before you hit those big long straightaways here and coming off of turn 2 and turn 4. With a capacity of over 250,000 people, it is the largest sporting venue on Earth. And it basically becomes its own city on race day. And even here in the virtual Indy Motor Speedway, looks like a lot of those virtual fans have packed the stands here to see these gladiators do battle. Be about 25 to 30 cars in tonight's field. So certainly a prime opportunity for a lot of these folks to see their favorite drivers go out there and try and get it done here in race number 6 for the Overtake iRacing League, live on Vspeed. Feels like a fitting time as well to take a quick look at our race strategy for the day. With this being a 60-lap race, plenty of opportunities to go out there and make something happen, but not all the time in the world, so you can't linger too much. With this being a 60-lap race, 150 miles, a couple of opportunities to come down pit road. I'm sure a lot of people will be coming down to the stage break at lap 20. That might be the only time they'll need to come down pit road, though, depending on how the cautions play out. They might need to make one more stop. But with 3 sets of tires available, shouldn't have any concerns there. And there will be unlimited green-white checker attempts if they need it. We have not seen too many so far this year in the Overtake iRacing League's Xfinity Series, but if they need it, that opportunity will be present, and I imagine a late race restart here at Indy would be electric. These drivers just wrapping up qualifying here over the next couple minutes. They'll be taken to the grid in just a little while. But in the meantime here, feels like a prime time to do a quick recap of what you may have missed over the first couple weeks of the season if you didn't have the opportunity to catch it live. We opened our season at the Atlanta Motor Speedway back in January. And our winner there was Tony Iverson in his debut for Bandits Motorsports. Big win there for the 24, got him locked in. And then it was Michael Kostick in the 8 the next week at Michigan. He picked up his first of 2 victories to this point with that win at Michigan. Gateway went the way of Andy Kurtz. He had dominated that race from pillar to post. Then a late race challenge right at the very end made things a little interesting between him and Jim Ott, but looks like the 5 of Andy Kurtz was able to get it done and pick up his first victory of the season. Then we went to the first road course of the year. Alex Penn picked up the victory in a thrilling event at Mid-Ohio that also saw Brandon Holder and Michael Kostick battling in that mix as well. Can't forget Blake Hensley in that mix as well. All 4 of them duking it out there at Mid-Ohio a few weeks ago. And then last week, or 2 weeks ago, the last race that we had, it was Michael Kostick coming off of turn 4 at Iowa to lead his only lap of the race, and it happened to be the race-winning move around Jim Ott. Barely was able to get it done. Looked like the 4 had it in the bag, but that gap he had built up went away in a hurry when he started running out of fuel at the end of that race, and it was just enough time for the 8 to make the move and move on up there. So Jim Ott does lead the points with 5 top 10s this season, including 3 runner-up finishes, but he's still looking for that first victory of the season here tonight, as are a number of these drivers with only 4 winners so far in the books. Should be just about time here for the grid. Grid's about 30 seconds away at this point, so once they wrap it up, we will get going here. for the 60 laps, 150 miles here around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. With the stage break at lap 20, it does put a very interesting hint of strategy in here. Won't be a whole lot of strategy in the opening 20. You just kind of send it and then see what happens in the opening 20 laps. However, coming down pit road at lap 20, that's where I think things will get a little interesting. Do you try and stay out if there's an early caution and then not come down during the stage break to try and get off cycle? Who knows? That is the joy of watching these races unfold in front of us. Be a hot one out there as well. That track temperature well up over 110 degrees. So tires certainly not going to be too keen on oh, no, never mind. Looks like qualifying and track temps a little bit different here with the clouds rolling in. But looks like the cars are taken to the grid, which means it's time for us to take a look at that grid as well and see who put this thing up on pole tonight. Starting up front, it's going to be the 94 of Bobby Hall Jr. Really good start there for the 94, his first pole of the season. He'll roll off alongside the 4 of Jim Ott, looking for that first victory still after 3 runner-up finishes. That second row will be the 30 of Alex Penn, our winner from Mid-Ohio, and the 32 of Brett Bieber. Row 3, it'll be the 31 of Blake Hensley and the 80 of Drew Prohl. Row 4, it'll be the 97 of Alex Healy and the 44 of Jason Harrison. Row 5, it'll be Andy Kurtz in the 5 and Bradley Cooper in the 25. That's a familiar name. Row 6, it'll be Lucas Lyons in the 48 and Justin Ray in the 38. Back there in 13th, it'll be the 88 of Wes Wiegand, off alongside the 11 of Dustin Reinstettel. 15th and 16th, you got Cody Anderson in the 42 and 2-time OiL Xfinity winner Michael Kostick in the 8. Tony Iverson, the winner from Atlanta, rolls off 17th alongside Kyle Mays in the 55. 19th is Matt McMeekin in the 41. Casey Ryback rolling off 20th in that number 7 machine. Matt Grenier, 21st there in the 15. Craig Schroeder in the 56, rolling off 22nd. Tom Hall in the 93 will be rolling off 23rd alongside Michael Cole in the 67, and that Ford Mustang rolling off 24th. '25th tonight is the 114 of Travis Bieber and the 12 of Justin Miller. Both of those guys looking for some rebound in here after a couple of rough goes. And rounding out our field tonight, it'll be the 62 of CJ Mason. So a couple of new faces in the field tonight here for the OiL Xfinity Series. A couple of guys we have not seen take the green flag here in OiL Xfinity action to this point. Should be fun to see what they can do out there against the folks that we've come to know and love over the past 2 months. You also get a nice little onboard here with our pace car. You can see how this track is going to develop for these drivers. Not super high banking in the corners. And then those little short chutes, just enough time to kind of get it situated before you have to dive back in. Indy does have a lot of passing opportunities, but there does tend to be a lot of single file action with the way these corners are laid out. It's tough to go side by side through the corners. And with that being the case, you're going to have a lot of prime opportunities diving into the corner and trying to get out of it, and then that big draft down the straightaway. But a lot of single file action when those attempts aren't presently happening, I would believe. Rolling through the short chute of turn 3, making their way turn 4. With those lights off on the pace car, he will peel down pit road, and it's just about time to go OiL Xfinity Racing once again. Pace car peels away. Green flag is high up in the air. And for the first time in 2 weeks, we are racing in the OiL Xfinity Series. Bobby Hall will lead him into turn number 1. Oh, a couple of cars sideways there going into turn number 3. And the caution is out. Early trouble for the 42 of Cody Anderson. We were just going to let him roll for that first lap, but didn't have to get that far before contact struck the 42. Looked like a couple of cars were having a disagreement trying to get into turn 3, the 42 of Cody Anderson being one of them. But he seemed to be the big loser in that exchange. That car particularly torn up on the right rear. So he's going to bring that battered number 42 machine down pit road. Definitely not how he wanted this race to start. But he's going to have to try and work himself back from this deficit. The only real advantage that he's got at the moment is that he was able to get back to pit road under his own power, which will give him the opportunity to try and get some work done on that car before the pace car and the rest of the field comes back around. But certainly not an ideal start there. We're also going to try and take a look for that replay in a second here and see if we can show you all what happened. Cody Anderson's had a very up and down season to start the year. He does have that top 5 from Atlanta, but then had a couple of tough runs the couple weeks after, and then bounced back with a solid run at Mid-Ohio. So, you know, the 42's having an up and down year, and this is certainly not going to help matters at all as you see the field roll on by now, which will put the 42 a lap down. Actually make it 2 laps down, I believe, as we now make our way on to lap 3. Yeah, definitely 1 lap down. Math is not working too well up here in the booth tonight, folks. So 1 lap down goes the 42. Bobby Hall able to retain that lead position on the opening lap there. Things got a little busier just behind him as Alex Penn and Jim Ott were battling for second. Penn was able to get around him and move into that second position. So he'll have the opportunity to restart on that front row alongside the 94. But Bobby Hall, it's a guy who's definitely looking for a strong run here. He's not had a great run of form to start the year. Looking to really turn it on here, and that pole will certainly help him do just that. We do have that replay. Let's take a look and see what happened to the 42 of Cody Anderson. Oh, looks like he got caught up in contact that didn't even initially begin with him. It looked like the 24 of Tony Iverson and the 7 of Casey Ryback made a bit of contact going into turn 3. And then on the rebound is when they collected the 42 just as he was trying to dive into the corner. It's a really tough place to make contact. You can't really catch it from there, especially with the lack of banking here at Indy. So not even anything the 42 really could have done about that. It was a battle between the 24 and the 7 that led to that incident there. But ultimately, the ultimate price will have to be paid there by the 42. The 24 and the 7 with a bit of damage, but able to continue. As we see, it looked like both the 42 and the 7 coming off of pit road just ahead of the pace car. And they're going to have to really work to get back up to this pack here, because the lights are off on the pace car. And those cars coming off of pit road will have 2.5 miles worth of ground to cover before they get back up to the field here before the green flag drops again. When they take the green flag again, they'll be going on lap 5 of this 60-lap race, which means it'll be 10 miles down, 150 to go. Alex Penn, we know he's really good at those road courses, looking to prove he can also run well on the ovals. We're going to see if he can jump ahead of Bobby Hall on this restart and try and take the lead here at Indy. feet easier said than done in that outside lane here, but he's certainly going to give it a shot with Jim Ott and Brett Bieber lined up behind them. Pace car peels off again, and they're wrecking. There are cars sideways there at the end of the field, and the delayed caution is in effect. Barney's going to put that yellow flag back in the air. Multiple cars wrecked off of turn 4. Looks like the 12 of Justin Miller, the 24 of Tony Iverson. Not sure what happened there. Those were neither of the cars coming off of pit road. So they were going at pacing speed, but they both got really sideways. The 12 and the 24 with some contact there off of turn 4. Certainly not how we've envisioned the start of this race going, no doubt about that. It gets checked up from way earlier. It looks like the 56 checks up into the 67. And then that also just backs up the 12 and the 24. But it looked like that started all the way up toward Craig Schroeder there in the 56. Just a simple case of accordion effect there coming to the green flag. But Barney saw that happen and said, all right, let's take a second, recollect ourselves, and try this again. It just looked like everyone got checked up a little bit there. Kostick, Kyle Mays, the 56 Schroeder. Everybody. The 24 still seems to be rolling okay. As does the 12. Those tires might not be too happy about it, though. Looks like the 12 might be bringing both the 12 and the 24 actually bringing it down pit road here. Same deal with CJ Mason's machine there, as is the 67. So quite a few cars making their way down pit road here. Looks like multiple of them overshot their box as well. The 12 really overshot it. The 62 is having a lot of trouble getting that thing lined up. Looks like Cody Anderson used this as an opportunity to bring it down pit road as well. Been a really interesting start here to the this race here at Indianapolis after several weeks of just really clean flag-to-flag racing. Just not able to get out of the starting block so far tonight. And that's really going to be benefiting Bobby Hall, I think, up front. More opportunity just to kind of coast around. Gives him more opportunities on the strategy game as well when they hit the stage at lap 20. Sure, there's a lot going through the mind right now of the 94, but the big thing is simply that he's going to keep leading a few laps here, stay up front, and have a better chance of making whatever he wants to have happen at the pit cycle at lap 20 come to fruition. Your top 10 as they run so far, it'll be Bobby Hall and Alex Penn, Jim Ott and Brett Bieber, Blake Hensley and Alex Healy, Andy Kurtz and Drew Prohl, and then Lucas Lyons and Jason Ayerson. So, haven't had a whole lot of time for there to be movers and shakers in the opening couple laps, but we're seeing a few. Looks like the 48 has moved up a couple of positions, as has the 44. Looks like the 80s also dropped back a little bit, so certainly a little bit of shuffling early on, but not a whole lot of time for these drivers to really get into a rhythm and get comfortable out here because we've only had about 2/3 of a lap of green flag racing. And I'm sure race control is over the intercoms telling everyone to make sure you keep your head on a swivel here as everyone's getting gridded up. The last thing they want to do is have that happen again and have to extend the caution even further. Rolling their way down the backstretch. We saw that the 94 got a really good launch on that opening start to the race. curious if he'll be able to do so against the 30. He had the battle against the 4 that first time around. Jim Ott now back into that second row. It'll be Alex Penn up front. Does the 30 have what it takes to get around the 94? Or will Bobby Hall be able to run off in the turn 1 unopposed once again? Pace car will peel off once again. Barney's got that green flag in the air, and this time he'll keep it in the air as we are back underway from Indianapolis. The 30 got a really good launch, and they're going to be side by side entering turn 1. Penn got a really good launch there on the restart. He'll go right around the outside of the 94. New leader here at Indianapolis. It's Alex Penn in the 30. And the battling too wide hasn't stopped. A little farther on back. That is the 31 of Blake Hensley trying to get to the inside of Brett Bieber. And then Andy Kurtz battling it out with the 97 just behind him. That's Alex Healy in that orange and white car. Healy trying to roll that top side here around Andy Kurtz. Might have a nose ahead of him here as he's now battling with Blake Hensley. Everyone very much looking to run the bottom here early on. That is the preferred way around Indianapolis, but Alex Healy was able to get that high side to work well enough to create a space for himself, now pushing Andy Kurtz out of line. He'll slide back in just behind the 97, and he'll settle in right now back into the 6th position where he restarted. A lot of chain of cars there right now running 5th through 8th. Hensley, Healy, Kurtz, and then the 48 of Lucas Lyons also into the mix there as well. As they make their way into turn 3, will anyone jump out of line? Does anyone feel like they've got to run? Not this time around, although Andy Kurtz definitely got under the 97 there. Not able to make a run happen with it, but he was able to get a little bit of fresh air on that car. And he'll have to try and reset it here off of turn 4 to see if he can get a run up front. Speaking of up front, Jim Ott and Bobby Hall battling for second. You can see it on the bottom of your screen there. That 4 looking to the inside. Blue and white is Jim Ott. The 94 there of Bobby Hall. Ott will roll on by on the inside and take away that second position. And now he'll try and get away from the 94, but Bobby Hall not going away just yet. He might look back to the inside here in turn 2. He'll slide back up just behind the bumper of the 4 and settle into 3rd here, trying to get a run down this back straightaway. And this battling is starting to let Alex Penn slip away just a little bit, open the gap up to about 3/4 of a second. But once Ott and Hall got nose to tail, that gap started coming right back down. The draft is a powerful thing here at Indianapolis. No restrictor plates like you'd see at a Daytona or Talladega. Certainly a lot of opportunities to make up time when you're not having to fight the air and the traffic around you, as we see a lot of those cars get single filed out in this front straightaway trying to all use that draft. Working on lap 11 here, it is Alex Penn, 0.3 of a second ahead of Jim Ott. He has cut that distance down in half, make the gap about 2 car lengths right now between the 30 and the 4 as they make their way into turn number 3. Jumping a little farther on back, Alex Healy and Andy Kurtz battling side by side for 6th. Healy had the position initially. He is defending right now from Kurtz and Lucas Lyons, who's on the outside as well. Lyons right there on the back bumper of the 5, both of them trying to use that draft to get around the 97. Alex Healy looking a little short of friends right there in the draft, the only car in that inside lane versus everyone running up toward that outside wall. Although he will have a good position going into the corner here. Andy Kurtz gets around him, but he will stay side by side with Lyons as Kurtz clips the wall off of turn 1. The 5 brushed it coming off the corner. Didn't seem to hurt the car too much, but that's certainly not something you want to replicate too often here at Indy. This place is not what they would call forgiving. Lions will finally clear the 97. Alex Healy back now to 8th. And the pressure's on behind him. Wes Wiegand and Jason Harrison also on the scene as well. A little bit of shuffling happening there. The back part of the top 10. We're looking here with Lucas Lyons and Andy Kurtz. That 48 has been glued to the back bumper of the 5 ever since they've gone racing once again. And it's worked out for the both of them. They've moved up several positions here. Now both of them knocking on the door of the top 5. We'll have to try and find a way around the 31 of Blake Hensley if they want to do so. A little farther on back, you see Michael Kostick looking to the inside there of Jason Harrison. As we saw going down the backstretch there, not sure how that battle came to fruition. Looks like Kostick got around him. No, they're still side by side there coming off of turn 4. You can see it on the right side of your screen. Michael Kostick side by side with the 44 of Jason Harrison. Harrison up high in the white and green. Kostick down low in the black Jack Daniels machine. Looks like Harrison will hold on to the position for a moment as now Andy Kurtz took a look to the inside of Hensley. Not quite there. Whoa, they're going way down there. Andy Kurtz in the 5 took a run all the way down to the apron there to try and get around Hensley, able to make the pass stick, and now Lucas Lyons will take his shot at it as well. Oh, and he's turned! Contact between the 31 and the 48. Also collected the 44 of Harrison. Heavy damage to the 48 of Lucas Lyons. There's more contact. Casey Ryback hits him at the last second as well. Heavy, heavy damage for both Lucas Lyons and for Casey Ryback. That was a heavy collision there for the 48, not only with the outside wall of turn 3, but then also the late contact there between him and the 7. Casey Ryback toes that thing back to pit lane. It has not been the 7's night. Got caught up a little bit in that incident. They're coming to the green after the first caution and now caught up here as well. But the 48, I can't imagine that car is going to be able to continue. We saw it just in front of him. Andy Kurtz had cleared the 31 of Hensley. And we knew that the 48 had been staying lockstep with him since the restart. And I guess there must have been some thought of he was clear, or maybe he was going to try and move Hensley up the track a little bit, or Hensley got a better run into the corner than the 48 was expecting. Either way, there was contact between the nose of the 31 and that right rear of the 48, sent him immediately into the outside wall and collected several other cars in the process between the 44 and the 7. A lot of takers for pit road here just before the stage. We will have the stage break at lap 20. So a lot of people coming in now trying to get everything fueled up. As you see one car nursing a very damaged machine coming down pit road late. That might be the 88 of Wes Wiegand. Boy, that thing has really seen some better days. Oh, that's the 44 of Jason Harrison who brings it down. Yeah, we saw that contact that he had with the 48 there in turn 3. Looks like it completely ripped the front of that machine apart. And I've seen a lot of smoke down there on pit road, so the engine might have some significant damage as well. Yeah, here's Lyons here on the replay, diving in on the 31. almost clear, but missed it by about 2 inches. Collects the 44 as well. And then where does the 7 get involved? I mean, everyone's getting low down below the 48, and the 7 just missed. I don't know what happened there, but he just didn't get down following everyone else on the inside of the 48. And that's probably going to end Ryback's day as well. I mean, this heavy contact there for the 7, and it looked like everyone else was able to dive out of the way. And then you see this late moment there between the 7 and the 48. He's coming on the right side of your screen here. Just not nearly low enough. He'll be after the 42. And there he is. You can see that car is actually a little bit sideways, so maybe he was just coming into the corner with so much speed, he couldn't actually get it down in time to run the bottom of the track. But either way, terrible luck for both the 7 and the 48. Oh, man, heavy contact there. That's moments like that, you're happy that it's only the virtual rig, because in real life that would be incredibly painful. But on to lap 17 here, both the 48 and the 7 on pit road, and you've got to imagine that their day's probably done. But the lights are out on the pace car, which means we're just about to get going once again here. Everyone's settling in the line here on what's been an eventful early start here to this Indianapolis race here for the Overtake iRacing League's Xfinity Series. Pace car will bring it down pit road. And here we go, 2 by 2. Green flag up in the air, and we are underway once again, and immediately everyone trying to fan out, looking for real estate. Some cars getting checked up as they get into turn 1, but looks like everyone's going to get away cleanly. Jim Ott trying to run that inside. Bobby Hall on the outside with a good run. The 94 is going to take that away, and he'll take the lead here going into turn 2 just ahead of the 4. Bieber trying to hold Andy Kurtz and Wes Wiegand behind him. These restarts always so frantic. It's the best opportunity to gain multiple positions at once. Looks like the 30 got really checked up there behind the 15 of Grenier. No one got any contact, but it really hurt the line on entry there. As you see Wiegand take away the position from Kyle Mays, running 5th right now in that 88 machine. You can see just how much that 55 though will pull right up to his back bumper on this long straightaway. Going to see if he can take a look to the inside. He will, not only to try and make a pass, but to hold off the 8 of Kostic. Mays to the inside here. Boy, maybe an inch or 2 of space between those cars through turn 1. Kyle Mays will have to back out of it here and regroup going into turn 2. Amazing that they didn't make contact with each other. Mays pulls right up to the back bumper. He'll look to the inside here of the 88. Kyle Mays in that black and green 55 right alongside. Into turn 3 they go. He'll dive in and take that position away, but he hasn't fully cleared him yet. Wes Wiegand holding tough on that outside lane. Can he make it stick for another corner, though? Not to Kyle Mays, he won't, but he'll pop out side by side with Kostic. And here goes Alex Penn to the inside, 3 wide down the front stretch. Looks like a little bit of help there from Justin Ray onto the back bumper of the 30 as well. And the caution is out for the stage break just as things were getting good. So that will bring out, I believe, our 3rd or 4th caution of the day. I believe 3rd. 4th if you count the extended one as its own incident, but I don't believe it was. So 3 cautions, counting the stage break here in the opening 20 laps. But this stage break here comes in just as things were starting to get real racy up inside the top 10. Saw a lot of cars jockeying for position. And a couple of big gainers there on the restart. We saw Alex Penn, I think, come down pit road earlier on. Made a big charge to the front here to get up into 8th. He could have got even more if he had about another half lap of time to do it, because he was on the inside of a couple of those cars ahead of him. A third of the way through this race here at Indy, 22 of our 27 cars still on the lead lap. No one is only one lap down, though. Just about everyone is multiple laps down if they are not actively on the lead lap here. You can see Anderson, the leading car, a lap down, but he's currently scored 3 laps down. So it's going to take a lot of time and effort for him to try and get back onto this lead lap if he has the time to do so, which is easier said than done in a race that's only 60 laps long. We are going to pop out to a quick commercial break while we've got a moment here. Don't go anywhere. The conclusion of this Overtake iRacing League race from Indianapolis coming to you right after this. And we are back here live on Vspeed, the Overtake iRacing League's Xfinity Series here at Indianapolis. The one and only stage break in the books. Just about everybody came down pit road. Only a few takers to stay out and try and play the strategy game here. That's how we find ourselves with the 41 of Matt McMeekin up at the front of the field right now. It's been an eventful opening stage here. 3 cautions in the first 20 laps, including 1 extended caution. As you see the 97 of Alex Healy peeling down pit road here, about a lap later than the rest of the field. A lot of comers and goers. There's been 5 lead changes so far, some on pit strategy, some on pure pace. The outside lane seems to be a really good place to be on this on these restarts. You're able to keep the hammer down just a little bit more in the corner to give you that edge going into the short chute between 1 and 2. So we're on board here with the 97 of Alex Healy. He's coming down pit road for additional service here on that number 97 Chevy Camaro. You know, seeing pit stops like this always remind me of just fun stories about Indianapolis Motor Speedway as a whole. Like in 1931, there was a driver who ran a diesel engine, ran 500 miles, didn't have to make a single pit stop. And you think that saved him a lot of time, but still only brought it home 13th despite spending no time on pit road. But how times have changed from that running to events like this where, you know, you run 10, 15 laps and you go, well, definitely time for tires and fuel here. It just becomes so critical to stay on the top of all of that sort of pit strategy whenever you can, especially in races this short. You know, you don't have a ton of time for strategy, so the last thing you want to do in the rare chances you have to do something with it is to pick the wrong call and then put yourself at a bigger deficit. But looks like the 97 going to be stuck on pit road for a while. There may have been a sort of violation either coming on or off pit road from a previous stop. He's going to be sitting there for a hot minute, it would seem. If chat's to be believed, seeing that the 97 hit the 42 under caution means it's just been another string of fun times under caution here. It's been a more dangerous place to be than under the green flag tonight for a lot of these drivers. On board here with the 11 of Dustin Reinstedel. He's moved up a good bit from 14th to 3rd right now in that Toyota Supra, a name that befounded me the first week of racing. I think I called it Reinsteltel or something like that. I couldn't even tell you how I pronounced it that opening week. But right now, Dustin Reinstedel settling into 3rd place here, seeing Matt McMeekin and Blake Hensley in front of him. Opportunity for both him and the 41 to try and make tracks here on the restart. Neither one of them having this kind of track position at any point tonight. Curious to see what they can do with it now that they've got it. So with the lights out on the pace car, they'll just have to make their way through turn 4, and then we'll be racing once again here at Indy. Matt McMeekin in the 41 will lead him to the green. Blake Hensley in the 31 to his outside. The 11 of Dustin Reinstedel and the 30 of Alex Penn make up row 2, with Bobby Hall and Brett Bieber there in row 3. Pace car peels away once again, signifying the end of this stage break. Barney's got that green flag in the air, and here we go in the turn 1. McMeekin and Hensley side by side, leading them around. .31 able to keep the throttle down just a little bit more. Once again, that outside line prevails through turn 1 on the restart. Hensley will take the lead away, and now Alex Penn looking to the outside of the 41 here. This is the battle for second. McMeekin trying to hold on to the back bumper of the 30 here. Not going to be able to do so. He'll slot into the 3rd position here, trying to make sure the damage stops at only 1st to 3rd. But he's got a couple of hungry drivers behind him there in Ryan Stedel and Bobby Hall. So Blake Hensley out front for the first time here today as they make their way onto lap 26, just about at the halfway point of this thing. As cars fan out on that front stretch, you see Jim Ott looking on the inside of Brett Bieber. He's going to look for this battle for 6th. Is just ahead of them. Bobby Hall takes away that position from Dustin Reinstedel for 4th. A little bit of a brush of the wall there for the 80 of Drew Prohl a little farther back in the pack. Action happening all over the field right now. Looks like Ott gets around the 32 as now Matt Grenier looks to capitalize on that issue for the 80 machine. He's going to be to the inside of Drew Prohl here and looks to take away that position going into turn 3. And he will do so there on corner entry into turn 3. Sliding up into the short chute now is the rest of the field. Grenier, Prohl, trying to lead this group. Craig Schroeder in there as well. Same deal with the 93 of Thomas Hall. Alex Penn has gotten around Matt McMeekin up in there second. Jim Ott looking to the inside of Dustin Reinstedel. That's the 4, trying to make his move on the inside here in turns 1 and 2. He'll be able to do so, moving up into the top 5. As this top 5 group, honestly, there's a lot of action happening at the back half of the top 10. Everything's starting to get a little congested up there. You see Andy Kurtz, Kyle Mays just on the back bumper of Brett Bieber. Now Michael Kostick looks to the inside of Wiegand there for 10th. Everything's getting a little checked up. Fit contact for the 55 and for the 24. Looks like the 8 really lost out in that exchange as well. He fell all the way back to 13th, maybe more. Not seeing him on the screen at the moment. Michael Kostick falls all the way back to 16th. He was running just outside the top 10, but everything got checked up in the turn 3 and sent him for a little bit of a ride. He had to catch it. Entering turn 3 seems to be the toughest part on the track right now for these drivers. We've seen a lot of close calls and several incidents in that corner entry. Everyone's just misjudging, I guess, that speed you get off the backstretch of there. Is now fanning out Brett Bieber, a low block there. Kyle May is trying to go back up high. Brett Bieber will keep him behind him. Sliding up in contact for the 55, and somebody else there. He pancaked the number 5 of Andy Kurtz, and the caution is out once again here at Indy. I mean, that battle started all the way back in turn 2 with the 32 of Bieber and the 55 of Kyle Mays. They were chasing each other all the way down the backstretch, and when they tried getting up toward the wall, Andy Kurtz was there between him and the outside wall, and all 3 of those met going into turn 3. The 55 looks like he might have to get a tow here. That car looks very mangled. He'll be able to roll it back down, but a lot of smoke billowing out of that machine. His day might be done. The 5 of Andy Kurtz and the 55 of Kyle Mays contact into turn 3 brings out our 4th caution of the day here on lap 28, now going on to 29. An eventful one here and very different from the racing we've seen over the past few weeks. Let's take a look at this replay and see what happened. I mean, this battle started way back there. You see the 55 and the 22, and just, I think, a little bit of a lack of awareness there from the 55. He was glued to the back bumper of the 32, and when the 32 slid up in front of Kurtz, I think Mays tried going with him, and there was a car there. Tough break for Andy Kurtz there. He was just trying to run his line, and all of a sudden the car just materialized in front of him. Looks like that car isn't too badly damaged. I'm sure there's going to be some repairs needed for that 5 machine, but doesn't seem to be nearly as rough of a condition there as the 55. Let's see if we can find an onboard shot for one of these drivers, see what they saw. On board here with Andy Kurtz, you can see the Brett Bieber machine all the way down, back up. You see Mays sneaking into the picture here and then just comes up with no more room to spare. It's a miracle that Kurtz didn't get collected there by Matt Grenier or one of the other cars going low to avoid. As Kurtz slid down the track in the oncoming traffic, but he was able to survive that. But he'll come down pit road for repairs, as a lot of the field here coming down for some pit stops. Could be their final one of the day. Andy Kurtz won at Gateway. His odds of picking up win number 2 tonight, I would say, seem rather slim after that contact there. That car is certainly not going to drive with the same pace that it had at the start of this race. I have no doubt about that. Looks like only 5 cars stayed out that time around. A lot of other cars came down pit road, so Jim Ott will be chilling in first, and then I believe it's the 93 of Thomas Hall currently scored in second place. If that's the case, that'll be the highest Hall has been running all evening. So when they hit the stripe here under this yellow flag lap, it will mark the official halfway point of this race here at Indy. It's been a hectic one so far. A lot of action on track, a lot of battling, a lot of torn up race cars. Will we see that more in the second half? That remains to be seen. Six different leaders so far today as well, so it hasn't even been like one car's run away with it. There's been a lot of different comers and goers up at the front of the field. It's tough to get a gauge on who's really got a fast machine at the moment, because anytime they start getting into a green flag run, the caution's out for one reason or another. Looks like the 30 of Alex Penn continues his march back toward the front. He's currently scored in the 7th position now. He's been up and down all night. Now here he is, currently scored P7 after he started 3rd. He's led 9 laps tonight, which is pretty up there as far as the way this has gone. Looking to lead a few more here, including that last one, if he can get back up there. But as they run, it'll be Ott and Hall in row 1. Row 2, you got a couple of new faces up there. as well. The 114 on the outside for Travis Bieber. The 25 of Bradley Cooper to the inside there on that Vspeed machine. And then you've got the 67 of Michael Cole and the 31 of Blake Hensley there in row 3. Row 4 is where we see a couple of those cars we've seen a lot up front, with the 30 of Alex Penn and the 94 of Thomas Hall, or of Bobby Hall. Pace car down pit road, green flag back in the air from Indianapolis. You could see the lurch there on the 93 when he put that pedal down to the floor, checked up just a little bit that inside line, and Jim Ott will be clear going into turn 1. Travis Bieber and Bradley Cooper going to battle it out with Blake Hensley for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Looks like Bieber is clear. Now looking to the inside of the 93. Here comes Travis Bieber. He has a 2nd place finish at Atlanta this year, trying to get back into 2nd place here, getting around the 93 if he can. A lot of action just behind them as well, as everyone's trying to get it sorted into turn 3. You can see all the flames shooting out of the exhaust of these guys as they're trying to get slowed down into turn 3. A lot of battling there. Oh, some contact there for the 31. He was lucky to keep that thing forward. Made a little bit of contact there with the 94 of Hall, but Hensley keeps it moving in the right direction. As now Cooper will slide back, or not Cooper, sorry, that's Wes Wiegand who took a look to the inside there of Hall. He's up to 7th now. As just behind them, look at this hornet's nest for 8th on back. Matt McMeekin's got an absolute logjam of traffic behind him. Tony Iverson and Alex Penn running that inside line. There was a taker to the high side as well. Right now, that 41 trying to maintain the gap behind, as he's got a whole host of cars bearing down on him for that 8th position. Everyone trying to look to the inside, get as low down on this track as you can. Do the least amount of distance you have to cover. Iverson pulled right up to the back bumper of the 41 there. Will he get a good run down the front stretch? Looking a little farther on back, you see Justin Ray battling it out with Michael Cole. You got Matt Grenier and Michael Kostick on the scene as well. Kostick was the last winner 2 weeks ago at Iowa. Only led 1 lap in that race, but it was the most important one. He's got a lot of work to do if he's going to get back up there, as a car is in the wall. It's the 67 of Michael Cole. That being said, the green flag remains up in the air. He's going to keep that car moving forward at the moment, but he is certainly off the pace after heavy contact with the wall in turn 2. He was already out of sorts there in the middle of the corner, and he tried getting back down the track as Kostick was going by. The 8 and the 67 make a bit of contact, and it puts the 67 back in that outside wall. Hensley now looking to the inside of Hall there. That is Bobby Hall in the 93. That's the battle for 3rd. Hensley's going to have a good look at it here to the inside, trying to take the spot away. Able to slide up just ahead of the 93 as the 93 clipped that wall on the short chute. That's going to let Bradley Cooper slide right up behind him as well. Here goes the 25 to the inside as the 93 again clipped the wall off the corner. Everyone ducking low to avoid. There goes the 25. Hall and Wiegand get on by. Iverson looks to shoot to the inside as well. The 93 having a whale of a time right now. He went all the way from the top 5. Now currently scored an 8th. About to maybe lose some more. Here goes McMeekin to the inside in the turn 4. Alex Penn going to try and follow him through as well. That was a very tough lap for the 93 of Thomas Hall, who brushes the wall again there on the front stretch. I think he stayed out on some older tires, and I think it's coming back to bite him right now. He is falling down the timing table in a hurry, about to fall outside the top 10 here if Ryan Stettel can get by him. A lot of action throughout the field right now. Ryan Stettel and Brett Bieber are going to try and get on by as well. The 93 again clipping that wall off of turn 2. Everyone ducks low to avoid. 3 more cars go on by. Now make it 4 with Matt Grenier. Craig Schroeder going to look to the inside here as well, as back just ahead of them. Ryan Stettel and Brett Bieber battling for the outside of the top 10. Everything starting to settle back into place a little bit here. with that 93 falling outside the top 15 after he was in the top 5 just 2 laps ago. Going on to lap 37. A lot of battling going on just inside the top 10. Looks like Bradley Cooper and Tony Iverson doing battle here for the 6th position. Iverson looks down low. Bradley Cooper going to run that higher line here through turn 2. They'll remain side by side off the corner. Maybe a little bit of side draft there off the corner, trying to keep each other in check. McMeekin's going to try and follow Iverson through on the bottom. And diving into turn 3 there is the 24. Way down to the apron, 2 wheels on that white line. He'll slide up in front of Cooper. Now McMeekin looks to do the same on the ensuing corner. And McMeekin will be able to do so. He'll take away that position. Bradley Cooper slides down to 8th. Alex Penn will slide in behind him, looking to regroup and make this pass attempt maybe going into turn 1. Iverson on the march toward the front right now, up to P6. He's made short work of the back half of the top 10. But now he's trying to chase down these guys. Blake Hensley, Wes Wiegand, and the 94 of Bobby Hall. Hall was our pole sitter here today. He's led some laps, still hanging around inside that top 5. Right now on the back bumper of the 88. Having a really solid run right now in that number 94 machine. Same deal with the 88 of Wes Wiegand. He had a rough start to the year, but having a really strong run here today at Indy. In striking distance of the lead here, only 7/10 back. Hall's taking a look to the inside. Can he make the dive into turn 1? Yes, he will. He's got a nose to the inside of the 88. However, he can't keep it there, slides up, and the caution is out. The 25 of Bradley Cooper looks to be slow. Same deal with the 32 of Brett Bieber. Both of those cars were running just inside the top 10. The front of the 25 looks like someone just hit it with a mallet. Gonna guess there was some front end damage there to the 25, because that definitely didn't look like it when we saw that car a few laps ago. Let's take a look and see what happened. Bieber to the inside of Cooper here in the turn 1. Oh, and they just ran out of real estate, and Cooper just clipped the end of the pit wall. That's where the front end damage came from. He actually kept it off the outside wall, but he clipped the inside wall just a little bit, but that is going to destroy the front end of that car. Ultimately, though, while it is a caution, could have been far worse for both of those drivers. You see, Brett Bieber was trying to get as much of the side of the 25 as he could. And they both just kind of meet each other on the entrance to turn 1 as Cooper's trying to turn into the corner, and the 32 is trying to give him the best angle, get the best angle into the corner. Or, I don't even know if the 25 had started turning yet. Maybe it was just a little bit of the 32 moving up a hair more than he was going to be able to. And you see the 32's front end destroyed. Justin Ray, very lucky to not get caught up as the 25 slid back up the track. On board here with Cooper. Oh, yeah, just clipped the front end of the exit of the pit wall just a little bit, but then able to keep it rolling. The 32 able to keep it rolling as well, so could have been far worse for both parties, but yeah, going down the front stretch, just trying to get a good position there, and I think the 32 just drifted up a little too much. Two-thirds of the way through. Oh, big checkup on pit road. The 114 is sideways. Everyone had to take evasive maneuvers to get around there. It looked like there may have been a bit of contact to result in that one. I tell you what, I think it's been more dangerous under caution tonight than it has been under green flag conditions. We've seen probably about an equal amount of instances of contact or crashing in both cases. A lot of cars coming down pit road here for fuel. Maybe that final set of tires if they need it. We're going to see if we can figure out what happened to the 114 of Travis Bieber. Because he was sideways there at the entrance of pit road. So he's making his way on down. Following Jim Ott, they were the first two cars down pit road. Oh, just got contact there with the 31 and then got completely jacked up sideways, tried reversing off of it, and then there was more cars collected. We know that it's a bit of a safe area there when you're inside of your pit box, but pit road itself does not have that dead zone compared to the actual pit boxes. So some contact there between the 114 and the 31. Looks like the 114 got... Oh, the 31 got alongside. The 114 was trying to move back up, and they both just ran out of space. And it really jacked up the 114. Some contact there with the 30 of Alex Penn. So, multiple cars we've seen up in the front of this field. The 114, the 31, the 30, all involved in an incident there on pit road. I don't know if I've ever seen a race where there's been as many instances of cars wrecking each other under caution as there have been under green flag conditions. Because it's nearly 50-50 here tonight. But either way, less than 20 laps to go here from Indy. About 19, it'll be 18 when they hit the line. Because of that shakeup on pit road, instead of the 4 and the 114 up front, it's going to be the 4 and the 88, I believe, leading the field to green. With Iverson and Bobby Hall just behind them. Lights are out on the pace car, though, which means we will be going back to racing, I believe, this time by, not only that, I believe this corner, as they make their way out of turn 4. The field's trying to get caught up there. Wes Wiegand on the inside, Jim Ott on the outside, Bobby Hall, Tony Iverson, row 2, Matt McMeekin, Drew Prohl in the 80 in row 3. Alex Penn there in 7th. I believe that's Justin Ray to his outside. Pace car will peel off once again. He's had a busy night here at Indy. So is this man, Barney the Flagman. But either way, green flag back in the air here at Indy. Jim Ott, Wes Wiegand will lead him into turn 1. Ott able to roll that outside like we've seen those cars on the outside lane do so well tonight. He'll lead him here. Wes Wiegand settling in the second. Bobby Hall will take third place away off of turn 2. And away they go down the backstretch, jockeying for position. Hall got a really good run going into, or coming down the backstretch. Almost missed the entry of turn 3, though. Tony Iverson will take advantage by diving to his inside. So a really good run down the backstretch goes for naught for the 94. As Tony Iverson will capitalize by taking the inside position. And now we're starting to see a little bit of the snake action. Jim Ott goes low trying to break the draft. Now back high. Wiegand and Iverson followed him down there. That's how you know we're getting into the closing stages of a race here at Indianapolis, when all of a sudden the leader starts going up and down that straightaway. Let's see how they get a run off of this corner here. We saw that Wiegand and Hall got a really good run the last time around. Can they do it again? On board here with the 41 of Matt McMeekin, watching this unfold in front of him. He's up 14 positions from where he started tonight, currently running in the top 5. It's been a really solid day for the 41 after he used a little bit of pit strategy to get track position. He hasn't looked back. They roar down the front stretch here at top speed, even more than that really with the draft. You can look up there at just ahead of these cars. Wes Wiegand is on the back bumper of Jim Ott as they make their way into turn 2. The 88 and the 4, both of these guys looking for their first victory of the season. Ott has come close several times already, but hasn't been able to seal the deal just yet. Wiegand's had a bit more of an up and down season, but this would be a statement victory for the 88 if he can get it done here. As they make their way off the corner of turn 3 into turn 4 they go. Wiegand a little higher up the track that time around, trying to get a run to the inside there off of turn 4. Not sure how well it worked for him, but coming to the line, it'll be 15 laps to go from Indianapolis. Jim Ott leading Wes Wiegand and Tony Iverson into turn 1. 18 cars still scored on the lead lap here out of the 27. Several cars whose days are done. These top 5 cars pulling away a little bit from Justin Ray back in 6th. Alex Penn back there in 7th trying to keep chase of him as well. But the top 5 cars have gained some separation from the rest of the field and from each other for that matter. Looks like there's some good battling going on just out or just inside the back part of the top 10 there as well. You can see Matt Grenier, Alex Healy, and Andy Kurtz. The 30, the 15, the 97, the 5, they're all battling back there. Back up front, Wes Wiegand got a really good run down that front stretch. Less than a paper's width between the leaders there as they went through turn 1. Wiegand will back off a little bit here through turn 2. Will he be able to get that kind of momentum down the backstretch like we saw him just get on the front stretch? Ott moves a lane off the outside wall, now back up, just trying to get a little bit of separation there from the 88. Wiegand closed in about a 10th. He still needs about 2 more to take the lead, though. Just behind them, Bobby Hall has closed back in on the back bumper of Tony Iverson. That battle for 3rd, now make it 2nd. Wiegand was really high up there in turn 4, and now Iverson looks to his inside. Wiegand trying to push him down. An aggressive block there from the 88. Now back up the track, another block from the 88. Iverson dives to the inside, side by side for 2nd. I'm shocked those two guys didn't make contact with each other. Almost contact there again. Wiegand able to throttle it off of turn 1. He'll hold on to 2nd place here. Bobby Hall now looking to the inside of Iverson for 3rd. Frantic battling here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and all of this is letting Jim Ott pull out just a little bit further from the rest of these guys. Hall with a good move into turn 3. He'll take away 3rd place from Iverson. Now he tries to get around the 88 of Wiegand, but Iverson battling back on the inside. He slides it into turn 4. He'll have to collect that car. No harm, no foul, but it will kill that run he had in the turn 4. And it will also let Matt McMeekin into the scene here as well. Hall to the inside of Wiegand here going into turn 1. The pole sitter has come alive here late in this race. Hall looking to the inside of Wiegand through turn 1. Contact with the 88. 88 hits the outside wall off of turn 1. I'll check him up. And now Iverson looks to capitalize as well. Hall got around him. The 24 trying to do the same with McMeekin hot on his tails. Iverson will roll on by for 3rd. McMeekin trying to make the pass here for 4th. He's got a nose ahead, but can he clear him? Not yet. Back into turn 4 they go. Wiegand trying to hold on to that outside lane. They'll finally have to concede that 4th place position, so that little bit of wall contact off of turn 1 had ramifications all the way around this track. Wiegand now back to 5th place. Jim Ott has pulled out to a 1-second gap over the rest of the field. However, these guys are nose to tail, and I'd imagine with the draft, they'll start making a dent in that here with 11 laps to go. Justin Ray has also jumped into the picture here. He's currently running 6th on the back bumper of Wiegand. That 38 machine has had a slow but steady charge to the front here tonight. Now Ray looking to the inside of Wiegand on the backstretch. That orange and white car, Justin Ray, and the 38 looking to the inside. Not able to make it happen on quarter entry. On exit, though, he might be able to. The 88 did not get a good run through turn 3. He'll settle back into 6th. Justin Ray into the top 5 now. 10 laps to go here from Indy. Jim Ott leads by a second over Bobby Hall and Tony Iverson. He's been so close multiple times this season. He's trying to finally pick up that first victory. He leads the points, but he has done so without a win. Could tonight be the night for the 4? Or will the pole sitter Bobby Hall get his first victory of the season in what's been an impressive drive here in the closing stages of this race? Or could Atlanta winner Tony Iverson pick up his second win if he finds his way to the front as well? Hall chopped off a 10.5 over the past half a lap there. Iverson hot on his heels as well. These two cars with a little bit of draft, I think, are starting to make a little bit of time here on the 4. A little bit of a battle going on, a little farther on back. Looks like Wiegand has fallen into the clutches of Matt Grenier and Michael Kostick, amongst others. Wiegand with an aggressive move to slide in between the 15 and the 8. Grenier will get up to 6th, though. Wiegand 7th, Kostick 8. Contact there with the outside wall for Hensley in the 31. Hensley, the first car, a lap down right now, currently scored 18th, next to Alex Healy and Andy Kurtz on track right there. A little bit of contact there between the 5 and the 31. Some aggressive battling going on here. Kurtz trying to get up to Healy in the battle for 9th. Hensley a lap down, trying to get his lap back. Wiegand clips the outside wall again. That'll bottle up everybody, but especially the 31. Healy goes on by. Andy Kurtz will go on by. And now Blake Hensley tries to go low. But there was no one there. And an aggressive move back up high. Wow, pillar of the post there for the 31, all the way from the inside back to the outside in between the 5 and the 88. Some aggressive driving from a car not actively on the lead lap right now, as Wiegand will clip that outside wall again. The 88, a real handful here over the past couple laps. Pulling down the backstretch here, Andy Kurtz looks to try and make a move on Alex Healy. It would be the battle for 8th place here. Kurtz runs about a lane lower than Healy. He might get the exit he's looking for. Not quite, has to slide in just behind him. Now looking to the inside once again is Kurtz. Can't get it done just yet. Could he get the run down the front stretch, though? He's going to have a lot of opportunity to try and draft his way up as the car got really loose off of turn 4. The car, that guy right there, I believe that is the 62 of Mason. Boy, he got really loose off of turn 4. He's lucky he didn't put that thing down pit road with how wide he took that corner. So he'll settle back in here, currently running 15th, one of the last cars in the lead lap. He was having some struggles. Back up front, Bobby Hall has fallen off from Iverson. He's now 2 seconds behind the leader. Not sure what happened, but he's in no man's land right now in 3rd place. Tony Iverson, the only car within a second of the leader right now. As they make their way down the front stretch once again, it'll be 6 laps to go from Indy. Jim Ott, a 1 second lead as they run. Ott, Iverson, Hall, McMeekin, and Justin Ray, the top 5 right now. Looks like Michael Kostick, though, is closing in on the back bumper of the 15 and Matt Grenier. That battle for 6th place starting to just not necessarily heat up, but it's starting to come to fruition as Kostick trying to get back in. Simmer is the word used from producer Christian. I think that's the right word. It's starting to simmer a little bit. Not piping hot, but it's starting to simmer a little bit here. As Michael Kostick closing in on the back bumper of the 15 of Grenier. Matt Grenier having a really solid run here today right now in the top 6 cars here, trying to hold off 2-time winner Michael Kostick as they run. There'll be 5 laps to go at the line. Good run off of turn 4 there for Kostick. He's going to get some draft Will he be able to make the move into turn 1? You see him closing up to the back bumper of the 15. Not going to make the move there in the turn 1, but was able to gain a lot of ground. As a car really slow off the short chute there in turn 1. Both Grenier and Costa going to go low to try and avoid it. That's the 48 of Lucas Lyons, who is off the lead lap. He's just trying to get some laps here, trying to get some points. But this battle continues. Iverson has cut the deficit down to 3/4 of a second up front. Still too far away to be in real striking distance as they run, though. Kostick trying to find his way around Grenier. Tries to slide up out of turn 4. He's right on the back bumper of the 15 now. He could try to make his move here. He looks to the inside of Grenier as they make their way toward turn 1. The 8 of Kostick down low, the 15 of Grenier up high. Side by side off the corner. Grenier is going to be able to hold on to the position for now. Looking to the inside again, will slide up just behind the back bumper of the 15 once again. He gets a good run down the straightaways. He's just not able to convert into the corner just yet. And I'm looking up front. I believe the 24 of Tony Iverson has caught the draft of Jim Ott. He's starting to pull in just a little bit here. He's also got the 25 of Bradley Cooper, who's now a lap down, just ahead of them as well, or just behind them. They just had to clear him. Jim Ott right now trying to maintain this half a second lead as they run. It was not too long ago that we saw the 4 of Jim Ott leading in the closing stages of the race at Iowa, only for it to be taken away off the final corner. Certainly, it could not happen again here tonight as Tony Iverson closes in on the final couple laps after Ott has been so dominant, leading 32 laps here tonight. Making their way off the corner. There'll be 2 laps to go this time by. You can see the gap. It's 4 car lengths right now between Iverson and Ott. The gap less than half a second. Ott tries driving it in deep. So does Iverson, though. Iverson with a really good dive in there. Chops some time off. Can he maintain that momentum in the short chute? It looks like he might be able to, and he's closing in fast on the back bumper of the 4. Maybe brush the wall just a little bit there. That's going to hurt his momentum off of turn 2. It's going to give the 4 a little bit of breathing room. Tony Iverson 15 places tonight from 17th up to 2nd. He's looking for one more to cap off the run here. He could do what Michael Kostick did 2 weeks ago to lead 1 lap and have it be the final lap of the race. Wouldn't that be something if Jim Ott finds himself in that position again? Right now, though, he's a half a second ahead, making their way to the white flag in the air here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Jim Ott trying to stay ahead of Tony Iverson, the gap 4/10 in the turn 1. Off of turn 1 they go. Nothing gained, nothing lost. In the turn 2, the 24 over-sent it through here last corner. Looks like he may have done so again this time around. The 4 was able to really pull away that time, opening the gap up by 2, make it 2.5 tenths down the backstretch. 2 more corners to go for the 4. Through turn 3 they go. Jim Ott has led 33 laps here tonight. He's come second 3 times in the opening 5 races of the season. He will not be denied here tonight, though. He's going to be able to hold on for the victory, and for the first time this season, the 4 is going to go to victory lane. Jim Ott, the winner at Indianapolis. Some fierce battling down the stretch there for everyone else. Some battles to be gained or lost. Looks like Healy just beat out Brett Bieber there at the line. But Jim Ott will pick up the victory, Hard-earned there for the 4. And finally, he gets to punch his ticket. He was the points leader, but now finally has a win to his name after coming so close the past several races. Incredible stuff there from Jim Ott. He's going to bring this thing back around this 2.5-mile track to burn it down to celebrate his first victory of the season. See Michael Kostick roll on by, though, the man who bested him by a corner 2 weeks ago at Iowa. Not this time, though. Jim Ott, the glory will be all his as he gets to celebrate here at Indianapolis. And here he comes. Here he comes down to the start-finish line, and he's going to burn it out over the bricks. I feel like there should be something in iRacing where you can go kiss the bricks virtually. I feel like that would be fun. But Ott going to burn it down here off that outside wall. His first victory of the season. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, post-race interviews with our podium finishers here from Indianapolis. Don't go anywhere. You're going to want to hear them.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Wild gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Welcome back here. What a thrilling event this was here live on Vspeed, the Overtake iRacing League Xfinity Series from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Certainly quite the event it was. A lot of carnage up front, a lot of green flag racing at the end. But at the end, it was the 4 of Jim Ott who picks up his first victory of the season. Speaking of which, let's go take a look at that car and let's talk to him right now. Our race winner tonight from Indianapolis, it's the 4 of Jim Ott. Congratulations on the win. A long time coming this season, to be sure.
It sure was. This one feels good, man. We finally got the monkey off our back.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like it was there for a while. I mean, 3 different runner-up finishes this season. You finally get to bring one home. What was it like in those closing laps, especially when the 24 started making some headway? Was there any concern thinking back to Iowa from a couple weeks ago, or did you feel like you had it in the bag the whole way?
Oh, by no means. I was concerned, man. I I saw him closing the gap lap by lap, about a tenth and a half, and um, I knew it was going to be tough. He got to me. It was going to be tough to pass, but I was watching pretty closely in the mirror. But I changed my line the last couple 3 laps. That helped, and seemed like I pulled him a little bit more. But yeah, it was definitely not in the bag. Especially in this league, it's so competitive. You're always watching for somebody, and Coach Tony was tonight.
Yeah, it was certainly a good finish there. Seemed like it was going to be quite the battle, but you were able to really pull away in those closing couple moments. You came into today with the points lead. You'll walk out of here with the even bigger points lead with the win. What does that tell you here now, about halfway through the regular season, knowing that you are leading the points here and finally have that first victory?
Oh, we'll just carry the momentum. It's already been a great season. Consistency's been there. We've been staying out of trouble, so just want to continue forward with that. The win's a big deal, so I can kind of relax a little bit and just keep running like I have. But as far as the playoffs, we're locked in. So now I can just kind of settle in and do what we've been doing. Up to this race.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like you've had a really good way to start the season here. And moving ahead to next week, you'll be going to Bristol, a track that probably couldn't be any more different from Indianapolis. How do you feel about your odds going into next week at the short track there?
Bristol's been good to me in the past. Love Bristol. Love the momentum. Definitely a tempo track. So track position is going to be key. So we're going to have to qualify well. But in the past it's been great, and hopefully we can carry that on too.
Well, we are excited to see how that goes. But in the meantime, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out here to celebrate your victory this evening?
Yeah, I have friends and family for watching. Excited to put a W on this one. They can watch it. But you guys for the broadcast, man, you guys do an awesome job, and Alex and Dave, from this league, terrific bunch of guys, and really enjoy being here.
We enjoy having you up here in the booth, Jim. Congrats on the victory, and we hope to see you back here real soon.
All right, thanks, Alex.
And that was our race winner here tonight. Jim Ott in the Ford led 35 of the 60 laps, really took control of that race in the latter stages and didn't look back. Finally got the monkey off his back, as he was saying, to pick up that first victory of the season. It's going to bring us to our second place finisher here, the man who almost got to the back bumper of his, the 24 of Tony Iverson. Tony, congrats on the podium. It seemed like you were really making a run there in the closing laps, trying to get up to Jim Ott.
Yeah, man. The closer I got, I started to hit his dirty air a little bit in those last couple laps, and couldn't close that distance as quickly as I wanted to. But that was fun.
It seemed like a good time out there. You had quite the day going from back to front. I mean, obviously you started back pretty deep in the field and worked your way forward. What was it like trying to fight your way through the pack tonight?
Oh man, I'm so mad at myself for messing up qualifying and getting stuck back there. And there was some unexplainable things that happened that had me ticked off and thinking that I wasn't gonna, with how aero dependent the track is, I was worried that my car was going to be permanently affected, and so I didn't really know what to expect, and I just was like, I'm just going to drive and try to stay in the draft, I guess, and ended up working out pretty good. I had a good little run at the end there, trying to get to Jim, and um, I feel like I was probably the fastest car at the end of the race, but just didn't quite have enough time to navigate that dirty air, and he drove a good race.
Yeah, I mean, he ran a pretty clean one, but you had quite the fight to get back up there. And you touched on it a second ago, and that's something I wanted to ask you about here. Um, the the restart after the first caution that got the delayed yellow. From your spot behind the wheel, what did you see happen there?
Man, I was following, I want to say, I can't even remember, Justin Miller, maybe. I was
I
following
think
him.
that was the two. I think I remember seeing the 12 there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, but I figured it probably wasn't his fault, but I haven't watched the replay yet myself, but we're coming to what was supposed to be the green flag, and the pace speed is 85 miles an hour, which I didn't think that'd be so hard for everybody to drive at the same speed we do on the highway, but it was pretty difficult for people apparently, and we somehow ended up at a dead stop. And I tried to slow down in time, but just packed right into the guy in front of me, and they just simply delayed the yellow. And then I got mad, and I was like, no, 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 I'm gonna get the caution to repair my front end here. Uh, but yeah, I was happy that that turned out the way it did for how unfortunate it felt as it was happening.
For sure, but you were able to battle back from the replay. It did seem like everyone just started checking up, and it looked like it ran 5-6 cars deep before it reached you in the 12. But obviously, you can take a look at that at some point and make your own assessment on it. That's just what we were seeing up here in the booth. But anyone you'd like to thank or shout out here before I let you go on your way?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and thank Bandit letting me hang out with them guys and race with them here in this league, and want to thank High Peak and Valdez, North Carolina, and High Side Hustlers, and want to thank my wife and thank OiL and the broadcast guys.
Well, we thank you for joining us up here in the booth here after your second place finish. Congrats on the podium, and we hope to see you up here again real soon.
Hell yeah.
And that was second place finisher Tony Iverson here tonight. Came up about a half second short of that second victory this season, but ultimately still a very good run from 17th to second for the driver of the 24. And our third place finisher tonight, and I believe the first time we've had the opportunity to talk to him, it's the 94 Bobby Hall. Congrats
Hi,
on the podium.
aka
Welcome to the booth.
that's right, aka field filler. That's my role, just to have fun, try to learn these cars.
Well, it seemed like you learned them pretty well here for Indy. You put the thing up on the pole, brought it home on the podium. Seemed like you were running up front most of the night. What were you seeing from your perspective?
Yeah, I seen the qualifying times, and I'm like, man, I was like, they're 3/10 off r- practice times because I was out solo, and I think there was probably a 7 in a qualifying trim. But of course, cars act so different in qualifying trim than race trim. It's just hard to gauge what it'll be. And then just learning. I mean, a lot of people were beating me in turn 1, but it seemed like the coming off turn 2 and coming off turn 4 is what played the role of, keeping up front because of course mile an hour is gonna overweigh corner speed.
Yeah, for sure. And it looked like you were getting some of the best exits off of 2 and 4 of anyone in the field tonight, especially on that a couple laps after that final restart where you were about 5th or 6th and then went on a war charge up the second there. It seemed like no one could stop you. When you were in that moment, was it full send trying to get up toward the leader, or was it just you were taking the opportunities that were coming to you?
I was trying to do both because we were like right on the money for fuel, and I'm like, well, I can push hard, and then if I over push it, I can back it down a little bit. And I was hoping to restart on the outside of the last restart. I think that would have helped me pass a car or two, but racing with my teammate Wes, and he clipped the wall just a little bit, and it kind of made me jump a little bit. Then Tony got past me, and then I was able to get by him again, and then I clipped the wall, and I think that's what did it. Just gave me a little tightness on the right front, and I let him go. And I see he caught up to Jim, and I was like, all right, battle. Might have a chance, but not enough laps.
Yeah, and that's the thing with it only being 60 laps, only so much time to get anything done. But still, a really strong run for you tonight. To my understanding, your best finish so far in the OiL Xfinity Series. Does that give you some confidence going into next week at Bristol, even though I know they're wildly different tracks?
Yeah, it's definitely a crapshoot because I race full time in trucks, and I'm trying to run as many Xfinity races, and it seems like I can finish the Xfinity and truck. It kind of helps me carry over with my awareness with wrecks, just like that wreck on pit road right in front of us.
Yeah, that was something.
Like thank God I didn't blink or something, or I probably would have been in that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm kind of. I mean, Bristol's definitely a crapshoot. I got to race the trucks in Eldora, so it's going to be definitely a 180 from 2 nights of racing.
yeah, no kidding. last quick question for you. I don't actually want to ask you about that for real quick. What did you see there on pit road when everything got bottled up around the midway point there? That seemed very odd that a couple of the leaders were wrecking on pit road.
Yeah, I was behind Wes, and we were talking about what we were going to take for fuel and tires, and he's like, "Oh, watch out, they're wrecking!" Like he just yelled, and I just turned the wheel, and that's when I seen the smoke in the 114 sideways, and I'm like, "What is going on?" So I take it the car behind him must have tried to turn for his pit or something, maybe. I mean, I can't. I don't know.
Looking from the replay, I do encourage you to take a look at it. It did seem like a couple of cars tried occupying the same place on pit road at the same time before either of them got to their pit box, and it just didn't turn out too well for either of them. But congrats on the podium. Anyone you'd like to thank or shout out here before we let you go on your way?
Of course, I like to thank the Vspeed guys for the broadcasts and the good product they're putting out. Alex Healy, part of the team Flex Motorsports, and his co-owner Dave for this league. Looking pretty good so far. The teammates Flex that side of the race tonight, Alex Healy and Thomas Hall and myself and Wes and Chris, I can't pronounce his last name, come and goer. And Mr. Grenier, all a bunch of good guys. We bounce ideas off each other a lot, and I think that's what helps us. And Earl Shop for the hand-free paint, I guess you could say it, and the fans in the stands.
Well, congratulations on the podium there, Bobby. Hopefully we get the opportunity to talk to you again real soon.
Yes, and I was hoping to race against Cooper sometime.
Well, he was there tonight.
Uh,
Although I'm sure his day didn't quite go the way he wanted it to. But either way, congrats on the podium and hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you. I'm hoping to.
And that was our third place finisher, Bobby Hall Jr., who put it on pole, brought it home on the podium. A really strong run tonight for that number 94 machine. But say it's probably time for us to take a look at the final results here from Indianapolis tonight. Thrilling race that it was. We saw Jim Ott come out victorious, his first victory of the season. He'll just beat out Tony Iverson and Bobby Hall, the other two drivers we had an opportunity to talk to. Matt McMeekin goes up 15 spots from 19th to 4th. That brings it home in the top 5. Justin Ray in the 38 brings it home in 5th. Matt Grenier, with his best finish of the season, to my understanding, brings it home 6th. Michael Kostick, 7th. Andy Kurtz in 8th. Alex Healy in 9th. And Brett Bieber, for the 4th time in 6 races this season, brings it home 10th. 11th tonight is Dustin Reinstedel. 12th is Wes Wiegand. 13th is the 62 of Mason, who went up from 27th, gained 14 spots to get there. The 67 of Michael Cole brings it home 14th. Drew Prohl tonight, 15th in the 80. Thomas Hall brings it home 16th in that 93 machine. V-Speed's own Bradley Cooper brings it home 17th, just ahead of Blake Hensley in the 31 there in 18th. Travis Bieber, who got contact there with the 31 on pit road, brings it home 19th, and the 30 of Alex Penn brings it home 20th. And the rest of our field tonight, Craig Schroeder in 21st, Kyle Mays 22nd, Lucas Lyons 23rd, Cody Anderson 24th. The 25th place finisher is Jason Harrison, with Casey Ryback and Justin Miller rounding out the field. And that is going to do it here tonight from the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Want to thank you all so much for tuning in here to the OiL Xfinity Series live on Vspeed. If you enjoyed what you saw here tonight, be sure to like and subscribe for all of your sim racing content. There's stuff going up on this channel basically every day of the week. So there's never a shortage of sim racing to be seen. As for the Overtake iRacing League, they will be back in action tomorrow night, Wednesday at 9 p.m. live here on Vspeed. But for this Xfinity Series, they will be in action next week at Bristol. 180 laps around the last great Coliseum. Should be a thriller and about as wild of a race as you can get here. A far cry from the big 2.5-mile super speedway here in Indianapolis. That little half-mile oval should prove to be a thriller here in one of the couple short tracks of the season. But for everyone with the Overtake iRacing League, everyone here at Vspeed, for our producer, Christian Hill, I have been Alex Gagnon saying thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And we will catch you tomorrow night for OiL Cup race or next week for the OiL Xfinity race at Bristol. Have a good night, everybody.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.